Italiano. Word of the day for today, 12th April 2024 is Sonno, which translates to English as sleep. And sleep is a state in which the body or an organism recovers from being awake. Hi, I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, and that's my attempt at defining the word sleep. And so, in that sense, it's a state. And some people don't really remember anything from when they're asleep. Some people have dreams, some people have nightmares. I'm the kind of person who either doesn't remember anything or has nightmares. I don't really have dreams when I'm asleep. An example, and some people have difficulty understanding that, so to explain a nightmare, for example, I have a nightmare that my dad is at the sink in the kitchen and my mom is dusting the banister above the sink, and my dad goes, a rubber band goes down this drain into the garbage disposal area, and so he puts his hand in to get the rubber band, and my mom drops something while it's dusting, while she's dusting, and that she drops hits the on switch for the garbage disposal while my dad's hand is in the garbage disposal. So I consider that a nightmare. There are things that I'm like, that not playing out in real life would be fabulous. Okay, so I tend to, and nightmares can be really intriguing in their own way, especially if I have a nightmare about something that's ongoing, and then something in my nightmare actually comes up the same day, and I just go, okay. And then I've brought up on this channel before that sometimes I'll have a nightmare about a place, and then I see the place in reality, like physical reality, or I see it online, and I'm like, well, that's intriguing. That place in my nightmare actually exists. All right. It might not be in use in the same way it was in my nightmare, which is, I'm like, whew, but so there's, yeah. So in that sense, it comes before my experience with something in physical reality, but it's the same thing. Sometimes explicitly exactly, or looks like something, right? Or it's something that I'm like, wow, look at that, how well that nightmare predicted things, which is like weird because it's my brain circuitry, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's me. I'm like, I'm over 30 years old and still don't necessarily know how to interpret my nightmares. I'd say a lot of the time, if they're really, really bad, I go, I don't want that to happen. What should I do to make sure that does not happen? Or I go, do the opposite, So that's kind of how I approach my nightmares. And sometimes they're just so bizarre that I'm like, I don't know. And then sometimes they're recurrent nightmares. Those ones are intriguing in their own way. Sometimes the recurrent nightmares are pretty close together. Sometimes it's like every 5 or 6 years, that kind of thing. Which is always interesting. I'm like, has that happened? Yes, I've had this nightmare before. Kind of thing. And then, so that's kind of a living organism, human sense. There's also the sense of a computer or technology can sleep. So that's like, take this computer. So this is a 7-year-old computer. I also have a computer that is 12 years old. So if people want to know how long this one will last, the one I got before this one, I still have and still use, and that one's 12 years of age. And the phone I am filming this with is 5 years of age. So I have a 12, a 7, and a 5. But the computers I will put to sleep, and it allows the computer to rest, to take a break, or recover from its usage. So kind of, it goes snooze. So there we go. So it's possible, I guess technology can be designed kind of like living organisms in that sense to have built-in rest mode to kind of recoup after high usage mode, or which might be for living organisms, something such as being awake. So there we go. In Italiano, that is sonno, S-O-N-N-O, that's why the long N. And in English, that is sleep. Or it translates as sleep.